Hey moms, welcome to the Gather Moms podcast. My name is Kate.
And I'm Rebecca. We've created this space just for you because we're both moms and we get you.
Yes, we believe there truly ain't no hood like the motherhood, and we need to be in this together. We also believe we can't mom well without Jesus, so you're going to hear us talk about him too.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Gather Moms and make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss a single episode.
All right, mamas, let's jump in. Hey mamas, hey, we hope your summer is off to a great start. The next 3 episodes you'll hear from the Gather Moms podcast are replays of our favorite summer hacks, tips, and tricks. We hope this puts a little fun in your ears as you head off on the next road trip, or maybe you're even getting to sit by the pool because your kids have all made it to swimming age. Whatever you're doing, we hope that these episodes put a little fun in your ears and give you some encouragement as you go.
So we're launching this 3-episode series, and let me tell you about it. Each episode is going to begin with a game.
Oh, I love games.
And it's a surprise game for Rebecca. She has no idea what I've concocted, and so we're just going to go with it.
I'm scared.
We're going to talk about these 3 topics: schedules, travel, and sanity for yourself.
Okay, I love it.
So we're going to give you practical tips and look at biblical truth. So let's get in summer mode by kicking off with a game.
I'm ready.
One of the joys of this season, I think, is that, you get the summer slowdown where you potentially have time to watch more movies. Do you think you watch more movies in summer?
No.
Okay, because I feel like I will watch a movie with my kids in the summer.
Oh, because you don't have to get up the next morning or
Right.
something?
Yeah, so if they're like, hey, can we watch a movie? I'm more game for it.
Gotcha.
Then, during the school year, it's just tricky to do that.
Yes.
So I am going to read you a synopsis of a classic summer movie.
I'm going to fail.
And you have to name the movie title. Okay?
Okay.
So you just have to try.
I'm
you
going
just have to try.
Are they in the bubble? Are they bubble movies?
Okay. Mostly in the bubble, one
Okay.
outside, very outside the bubble.
Oh, very outside.
So
Okay.
outside. But I think you've seen it before.
Okay.
Okay. Even if you don't know the title, you just can't lay out on me. You have to give me some
To try. She's asking me to try, y'all. I'm going to
Okay.
try.
You've got it. Here we go. Okay. We're going to start off easy.
Good.
Kids playing baseball in a rundown baseball field with a scary dog on the other side of the fence.
What is Sandlot?
Yes! Good job. Okay. Twin girls that meet each other at camp and try to get their parents back together.
One of my all-time favorites. What is The Parent Trap?
Yes!
Okay, but are we talking old school Haley Mills? Or are we talking new school?
My favorite's the old school.
Okay,
What's
me
your
too.
favorite?
Old
Yeah.
school Haley Mills.
Yeah.
Yes.
I always thought the mom was just the most beautiful thing.
She was. Yes.
And that scene where she's in the kitchen in California putting the dishes away, I just thought she was so glamorous.
But they swam in like a lake. Did you see that water that girl was swimming in that
Question
time?
mark? Yeah.
Oh, I ain't going in there. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. A group of girls go on summer vacations and share a pair of jeans.
What is the traveling pants?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm killing it.
You are. Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Sisterhood, sorry. Okay.
This group of kids discovers an old treasure map and goes on an adventure to find the ship of One-Eyed Willie.
What is somewhat inappropriate for your kids? The Goonies.
You don't think it's inappropriate, and then you sit down and watch it with them, and you're like, oh, wow.
I didn't know they said that.
Okay. This girl's family goes to a summer resort, and she learns to dance and has to carry the watermelons.
What is Dirty Dancing?
Yes!
I totally saw that outside the bubble.
Okay.
Yes, girl.
That was my outside the bubble. I was wondering if you would know that one.
So I'm trying to remember because my dad would sometimes let us watch movies, but he would fast forward. So I'm trying to remember if that's one of the ones that he sat with us and fast forwarded through the parts. So
Listen, okay, that movie. So there's a lot there, but I shouldn't even bring this up. Do you remember that girl gets pregnant and then she's not pregnant?
Yes.
I don't want to talk about.
Yes.
I think just as children, I think I had no idea really what was happening.
No, that's the same thing with the Goonies. We watched those things, but I don't think any of it computed in our brain.
Yeah.
But in my mind, if I showed my kids that today, it would compute in their brain.
Yes.
So I don't know what's happened in the world.
No, but I love though that they mentally can only process things at a certain level. Like for example, I was just reading with Caroline in her little Jesus Storybook Bible, the story of Abraham and Isaac, and I'm getting that right? That Abraham takes Isaac up to sacrifice him.
Yes.
And I'm reading this and I have tears in my eyes because I'm like, just the gravity of this situation, just how much pain must be involved. And she's just reading along. Like,
no big deal.
And he puts him up on there and he's about to kill him. And,
got a knife in his hand.
Everybody's okay.
Yeah.
So I think there's just some level of like innocence that coats some of that.
That's true.
Okay, here's the last one. And I tried to bring in some potentially Gen Z moms because I feel like this was a very like millennial Gen X mom music.
I don't even know the
thing.
Generations. I'm just living my 44-year-old life here.
Okay,
So
for our little sugars that are still in their 20s and 30s, let's see if you know this one. This is the last one. This friend group from the East High Wildcats ends up working at a ritzy country club owned by one of their friends' families.
what is the High School Musical?
Yes!
Okay, I'm pretty sure I won the category, and I'm going on to Double Jeopardy. I just am saying I feel like I did good. Okay.
So good. I was not sure how that was going to go, and I am so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you
Great job.
so much.
So as we talk about summer, I think I just wanted us to acknowledge that we all come to summer with different realities because we have different contexts that we're living in with our children. Like some of us may be a stay-at-home mom, others work outside the home. And there's a lot of us for whom there's a hybrid of at-home work and outside of the home work. Some of us have newborns and toddlers, others have school-age kiddos, and also then there's teenagers and grandkids. So we come to summer with so many different realities based on our context, but I think we all share so many common desires and struggles. No matter if you have newborn babies or you have teenagers, I think there are some things that we share. So what do you think, Rebecca, that all moms want in the summer, no matter their season of life?
Sleep. Is that right?
Yes, correct. What else?
Family time.
I think so too. Yeah. So I thought making memories, summer feels like it's about making memories, having fun with their family, resting, going a little slower.
Yes.
Right? Like no matter your context, probably those things are true. What do you think all moms struggle with in the summer, no matter their context?
Well, how many hours in the day do you have to entertain these people?
Yes.
Is it 12?
Yes.
8 to 8, 9 to 9?
Yes. I think that's very real.
There's a lot of ticking clocks going.
The very first thing I wrote in my list was the right amount of activity.
Uh-huh.
Because just trying to manage that, like, okay, we have this whole day with these kids. They aren't in school all day. We don't have a prescribed, rhythm or plan. So there's, the blessing of that. But then it's also okay, now what am I going to do with these people all day?
Well, and if you overpack, you regret. And if you underpack, you scramble.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah, the tension between mom, I'm bored, and mom, I'm exhausted.
Right.
I think we all struggle with the heat.
Oh, yes. Bless you, those that live outside the walls of Texas and you actually get a summer with cool evenings. And because we don't.
Yeah. But, it just gets hot and it gets to the point where it is literally oppressive.
I'm already hot and it's not hot yet.
Yeah.
So I'm worried.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit for our bodies to adjust back to that.
I think we struggle with planning vacations. The mom is often the one that's in charge of helping coordinate everything and booking the place. In your situation, I think Greg usually does
Greg
that,
does
right?
it all, and I love it.
But
I just want to show up.
Do you pack and stuff?
Oh, yeah. I'm the packer. He
Yeah.
doesn't pack, and he usually shops the night before we leave because he
Fantastic.
remembers what he doesn't have, even though I've asked him 14 times leading up to the vacation.
Yeah.
But no, I'm the packer, which I don't mind packing. I don't like planning, so.
Yeah, but coordinating all that, everybody's stuff.
Yeah.
I think we struggle with money for vacation and then just all the entertainment and
Well, and
all
you're
that.
feeding them all day. It's different.
Yeah.
You're trying to figure out lunches and dinners and breakfasts, and then they want to go get snow cones and Starbucks and all the things.
Yes. And then finally, I think one of our common summer struggles is keeping everyone happy. Because different kids want different things. You know, even if you just have one kiddo, but even still, you're having to balance their happiness and your own.
I was going to say, I feel like I get to be happy and just kidding.
Well, but you're kind of having to pick, you know, because everybody can't win all the time.
That's funny. That would be a fun thing to do this summer, to go, today is your happy day.
Yeah.
I don't care what happens to you the rest of the summer, but I'm going to give you one day
Get one
to be happy.
Yeah. So for me, for this first episode in our summer series, I thought it would be good for us to talk about schedules. And I want us to look through what our daily lives look like in the summer and how we can plan the big fun things like vacation in a way that has a pace that works for the whole family. For me, when I think about schedule, the driving force is that I don't want summer to be a wash. I don't want my kids to just sit on screens all day, eat junk food, and be lazy. I feel like summer creates an opportunity to be intentional with some things that we don't have as much time for during the school year. However, I have to also hold in tension letting us all go slower and enjoying the fact that we don't have as much jam-packed in each of our days. So it's exactly what we just talked about, that tension of I'm bored or I'm exhausted, and trying to get that right. What do you think about, like when you think about creating like a summer rhythm or a summer schedule, what motivates you to do that?
Well, I mean, I have different motivations now that I have older kids. Because when they were littler, I wanted some thought out processes for the day.
Yeah.
Which, if you've listened to any of our old podcast episodes, I had big dreams at one time. I don't know how those dreams worked out. Now, I think it's different because my kids plan their own things. So it's really a matter of me knowing in enough time what they were thinking they were going to do for that day.
Yeah.
In order to get it all planned out. So I'm pretty laid back with that stuff. But I've already thought through just a couple big rocks to put into the summer this year of things that I'm like, okay, but amidst all of y'all's plans, here are a couple things that I really think we should do.
Yeah.
But I'm just not a huge scheduler.
Yeah. Well, and I think like we've talked about, you know, we've done different things throughout our children's summers that have worked at various seasons. And like we just talked about some of this in episode 108, It's Going to Be May. So if you haven't listened to that, you can go back and listen to that one too. But I thought, you know, as we're thinking about different moms in different contexts, it might be nice for us to like kind of think through a little bit, like what worked for us in the baby toddler season, what worked in the grade school, what's working in the teenage season. Let's talk through some of those things to kind of just help moms think about, you know, I think that's one of the things that's helpful of what we do here is just kind of talking through, like we're sitting down together and game planning, okay, how can we do summer well?
Yes.
So I was thinking about with my babies and toddlers, you know, I was at home full time. So it was a different season for me. And
it doesn't feel, I think when you're home full time, it doesn't feel that different. Like
summer
is just, it's the same thing we've been doing.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if sometimes toddler moms are like, I've done this in March, April, and May. I don't know what the difference is in
for sure.
June, July, and August.
For sure. I think there's that. But I think even for me, like usually like when my toddlers were toddling, they were in at least like Mother's Day out a couple days.
Yeah.
You know, so usually we had something, some kind of a break or some kind of a rhythm. And then you transfer to having them full time. But you're right. There may be mamas that just have them full time all the time. And then here we go again.
Well, and even homeschool moms, like talking to some of them recently, and they're like, I don't know, it feels like it's different, but some of them are like, oh, well, we're together 24 hours a day already.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But you don't have like the schoolwork to do. And so then it's like, should we do schoolwork to keep some schedule in here? I don't know.
Are they going to lose everything they've learned during these next 3 months of summer before they go back to school? That was the big thing that always felt like teachers were like, oh, don't let them lose all that they've been learning.
I know. And that's why we've talked about before, we all go to Costco and get like the summer resource book, like kinder to first, like the workbook.
Listen, we should do a social post that's like, how many of y'all have thrown away a quarter completed Costco workbook that you were like, we're going to do every page,
or do a swap and be like, we used 10 pages out of this one, 5 pages out of this one.
A Costco workbook swap. Yeah. I love it. That's so good.
So I think when I was full-time at home, I had to work with the tension of doing enough to have fun and get us like a good tired without doing too much and getting us bad tired.
Mm-hmm.
I was also working around nap schedules, which can be tricky, and taking the kids to the pool at this age, or like going to the zoo, the park, anything could be so exhausting.
And the sunscreen. You're constantly trying to like bathe these children in sunscreen so they don't get sunburned and have enough snacks. I mean, you're carrying backpacks with you everywhere you go full of baby wipes and snacks.
To go anywhere, there's a lot of prep. There's bags to get packed. You have to think through things. You know, being there, you're just on the whole time and constantly monitoring. And then, you know, they start to crash. They get tired and hot. And you're also tired and hot and want to throw a fit, but you can't because you're the mom.
That's right.
You have to keep it together. You know,
you get to the car.
Yes. So we shared a tip last year, and it was one of my favorites that I think is so good for young mamas with littles, is that you put your iced coffee in like a Yeti or like a, does Stanley keep things cold? Is that part of their magic?
Yeah, it is. So, oh my goodness, friend. Yes, Stanley does.
Okay, but some travel mug that will keep it cold, and you just go ahead and have your iced coffee in the car. So that then when you get back in the car from the zoo, from the park, and you have to drive these kids home, that you have like a treat waiting for you. I thought that was the cutest idea.
That's super good. I like that a lot.
So, you know, because it's just exhausting. So my biggest tip for this season, I'm curious what yours would be, but my biggest tip for this season is to go early and go short. That you do fun things early in the day for a short amount of time. I think it's unrealistic to expect that you can take littles and go to the pool for 3 hours. Like, you know, get there at 10:30 and be out of that mug at 11:30. Come home and feed them lunch, put them down for a nap. And like that was good, mama. That was good. Like just, you know, or if you're going to go to the zoo, be there early, stay for a couple hours and get home. You have probably a drive to get there and to get back. If you're going to go to the park, go early and just, you know, let it be an hour or something and come home. You may be running with friends that can go and they have bigger kids and so they can stay at the pool for 3 or 4 hours. I know it's hard to leave, you know, when they're still there having fun and you want to catch up with your girlfriends. But man, if you push it, you're going to get bad tired and your kids are going to get bad tired. And it just creates such an exhausting experience.
I totally agree with that. I think go with friends. I think I tried to do things alone a lot because I felt like that's what was expected of me as a mom. Like I'm supposed to take him to the zoo. I'm supposed to take him to the pool. And sometimes you just feel so weary from the experience because you're doing all the things yourself. Find some mom friends that have littles too. Y'all all go together so that when somebody's having a tantrum, the friend can watch the other kid. Just that camaraderie of having another person there with extra eyes. Listen, y'all don't know this about me, but I lose children sometimes. When we go swim in pools, I sometimes don't know that they're drowning.
So we are both in that camp.
I need friends that actually watch so that they can help save my children.
Well, like you're at the zoo and you have to go to the bathroom and you have a stroller with a baby in it and a toddler. Like, you know, those are the moments when it's clutch. I would just say, just temper that with, sis, you're not going to be able to have a deep conversation with that other mama while you're there. Just realize like you guys are just going to do this fun experience together and you have to keep it light. You know, if she starts sharing about like her deep, dark problems, just know you may have to check out and be like, I'm so sorry. Can we do this offline? Because right now I am.
Your child's climbing into the lion's cage. So
yes, my brain is at capacity. Okay, so let's talk about grade school kids. I think with grade school kids, you start to have a little more room to do longer fun things. In this season, you know, we do a fun day in the summer and the other days are chill. Like when my babies were babies, I felt like we needed to do more small things to kind of have something where we were getting out each day so that I didn't feel like trapped with them at home. But now that the kids are bigger, they like to be at home. They like to be here. They like to be playing on the street with their friends. They don't need me to plan as many things each day. For us, what works is to have one thing fun we do per week. Does that make sense?
It does, yes. So you're like, you have something you're looking forward to, and then once you've done it, you're like, all right, guys, that was our fun thing this week. We're going to chill the rest of the time.
Right. And in this season is kind of where I am now. I've worked from home or worked part-time. So I tell the kids they get Fun Mom once a week and we can do something fun as a family. So we go see a movie, go to a cool pool or water park, go bowling, go to an indoor play place, museum, go play pickleball. So, because in this season, I need them to take more ownership of their time and practice healthy rhythms. Now they start being responsible for managing their time, taking care of themselves, because I think that in my family, it is so important that they do some of those things, because if not, they become little monsters.
Yeah.
Like if they just sit around and eat junk food all day and, they're watching YouTube and playing video games and stuff, my gosh, by the time I get home, they're fighting with each other. The house is a disaster. And I think we look back on summer and I'm like, well, what did we even accomplish? What good was that?
For sure.
So I think, this is the place where I've talked about this a million times before, but where we practice the 5 things that we do before screens.
Yeah.
This summer, I think I'm probably going to say you get an hour on screens and then you do these 5 things. You get dressed and make your bed. Then you go outside, you learn something, you create something. I can't remember what the other one is. I'll have to list them in the show notes, but that they do those 5 things and then they can get back on screens.
For sure.
Or go do something fun or whatever.
For sure.
But just so, because like my kids, like last summer, they learned Spanish. Lydia worked on her typing. There's all kinds of great programs and stuff online where if I tell them you have to spend 30 minutes learning something, they do something cool.
For sure. I think this is also a good time where if you had some rhythms during the week that you wanted to implement, like a no tech Tuesday or something like that, because I've even thought about that with my big kids. I just think for all of us, me included, we need to have some set aside time where we're like, we're just not going to do this right now. We're not going to have tech today. We're not going to watch YouTube today. We're not going to play video games today. They're going to hate it. I mean, they're going to hate it.
Yeah.
But I know it's actually good for us.
Yeah.
And it's good in the long run.
Yeah.
And even though they don't have nap times anymore, for me to say, hey, after lunch, the house is quiet for an hour.
Yes.
And you can go to your room. We're not going to be on our phones or anything. You can read a book or you can sleep.
Yeah.
Like close your eyes for a minute.
Yeah.
But just to give yourself a break, because I find that for me, with the noise constantly in the house, it wires me up and then I become mad mom.
Yeah.
But really, it's just I need a break from the noise. I just need a few minutes of quiet.
I'm with you. I think the afternoon, after lunch room time is like clutch.
Yes.
Because, and for us typically, that's because we've gone to the pool in the morning. We come home, everybody's hot and tired.
Yes.
And then it's like, okay, now everybody, I'll see you, it's 1:00 and I'm like, I'll see you at 3.
Yes.
Don't come out until then.
Yes.
Because then I kind of get to refuel and feel better.
Well, and I would say too, for some of you out there, like I love Kate's idea for like, these are the things we do in the morning. I'm not really a maker of my bed.
Yeah.
But I know how much it makes me feel better when things are straight. You may even flip that and go, you guys can do whatever you want till 4:30. And then at 4:30, before dinner, we're going to do a quick clean.
Yeah.
Go make your bed, pick up your shoes, put some stuff up so that when we sit down for dinner and evening activities, we feel more at peace because our house is straight.
Yeah.
So you might just flip that script and go, look, you guys can do whatever you want for this amount of time. But in the evenings, right before the, dinner rush, we're just going to all clean together.
For sure. And if you're working outside the home and they're having to hold it down at home, you may just have a list where you say, you navigate this time how you want it.
For sure.
But these are the things I need to have done by the time I get home.
Yes.
So then let's talk about teenagers. So I'm just entering this phase. I mean, I have a 15-year-old, but I feel like it's different when they start driving. Because I'm still talking about kids mostly being at home and I'm the one responsible for them driving.
100%.
So I'm so curious, Rebecca, to hear your feedback on this. But I also found tips from this guy. His name is Dr. Michael Bradley. He's a psychologist and he wrote this book called Yes, Your Teen is Crazy, Loving Your Kid Without Losing Your Mind. And he said that what teenagers do in the summer is much more valuable than what they do in the winter because they have this opportunity to consider things that they're getting to choose on their own and explore and be bored a little bit and kind of have some adventures. He said without the demands for school, sports, etc., they have the opportunity to explore what they want to do. So Bradley advises parents to come up with a possible list of summer activities for teens, put some ideas out there, then let your teens decide what they want to do. He advises to talk with them about what they're interested in and work with them to come up with a plan.
It's a great idea.
So that you sit down, you kind of make some summer plans, and then you work on a schedule or a strategy together. And he suggests balancing unstructured time with structured time. So in quotes, he says, so they don't turn into a bowl of gelatin in the summer.
Amen.
So he says one way to approach it is to divide summer into thirds. So that like 1/3 of your summer is organized, productive time where your teenager is engaged in something that has an outcome. 1/3 is unstructured. So they have holes in their schedule to figure out what they want to do, where they want to go. And then the last third goes toward family time. So it's a back and forth process, an exchange of ideas, mutual respect and negotiation, are really important. So that there's, you're getting them involved in making the plans, and you understand, just kind of have them understand, hey, 1/3 of your summer is going to be about like doing good things where you can grow and learn. A whole third is about you doing whatever you want to do. And this other third is going to be about us spending time as a family. So just kind of helping them see it in that way, and then strategizing with them about, okay, what sounds good to you?
I love that. That's great.
What else? Anything else you would add with that?
So I have 2 different types of teenagers. I've got a driver and a non-driver, and those are very different teenagers. And I think you want your driver teenager to feel like they've got some agency to make decisions with their friends and hang out, but they're always going to push you past your boundary.
Yeah.
Because they don't really understand the boundary. So they're always going to want to stay out later. They're always going to want to go out every night. They're always going to want to spend your money on food.
Yeah.
So I think there's some ways that you can help temper that with, number one, for my teens, responsibility. What is your responsibility around our house? I would love for you to hang out with your friends, but have you done the things I've asked you to do? Whether that's a chore, keeping their room clean, doing their own laundry. So that's one thing that I will set for my teens is I want you to get to hang out with your friends. But before you do that, I need you to make sure you've done your responsibilities here at the house. The other thing is time, because they don't understand that when they stay out till midnight, mom's awake till midnight.
Yes.
So I would love for you to hang out with your friends late one night, but we're going to pick a night for you to do that. And then the other nights, I'm going to need you to be in by 9:30 or 10.
Yeah.
So yes, you can have a night where you get to, feel important by staying out later, but it's not going to be every night. And then the money thing, because they just do not understand that most of their activities revolve around Starbucks or going out to eat.
Yeah.
And we don't have that kind of money.
Sure.
And even if he's working, which I have a child that works, I don't want you spending your money on all that stuff.
Right.
So also saying, okay, I would love for you to get to go out to eat with your friends. Can we decide what night you're going to do that? And the rest of the time, you either eat at home first or you just snack.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to spend it all.
Yeah.
Because I think it's important for my teens to have that freedom in the summer to feel like they're socializing where they haven't been able to during the school year.
Yeah.
And even my 14-year-old, I want you to figure out, are y'all going to go to the pool? Are y'all going to go to a friend's house? I want to help be a part of that. But they don't have that maturity in them to go, this is going to inconvenience my parents.
Sure. Of course not.
And
yeah.
you can't expect them to because
No.
they're just not there.
Right.
So instead of getting frustrated about it, just preempt that with, hey, I'm so excited for you to hang out with your friends this week. If you guys talked about anything, let's go ahead and think through it together.
Yeah.
So just get ahead of it.
Good. I love that. So kind of as we close out this episode, I just wanted to summarize some of those main tips that we've talked about. And I love what you've contributed because some of this goes along with kind of this list that I've culled here. So let's boil it down to what you can walk away, moms, with from this. My first and favorite tip is this, that you get your family involved in the summer plans. Y'all, parenting is so much easier when your kids have buy-in in what you're doing. So brainstorm fun things you want to do together in the summer. Talk with your kids about summer rhythms, trips, expectations. Like my kids like to know, are we going on vacation? When are we going? They just I think it helps them. It relieves some anxiety for them, gives them something to look forward to when they know what's on the calendar. I think that conversation on the front end is key. And it doesn't have to be some super long conversation, but just sitting down and talking it over with them. Okay, my little people tips. My general tips are give your kids jobs and projects.
That's right.
Just like you just said. It's my kids, I told them their first job this summer is going to be to clean out their closets.
Good.
Yes. So that's a project that they'll work on. And they're not going to be doing it every day, but that's going to be a job that they do.
That's great.
So we just may have some projects around the house and things like that. And then for Caleb, he's going to actually have his first summer job. He's 15, he's ready. I think setting goals, I think I'm always surprised when I sit down with the kids and I'm like, what would be a good goal for you this summer? And they're like, I think I want to read 5 books, or I think I want to do my Duolingo Spanish thing 3 hours each week, or like
you're like, whoa, kid, I was just thinking you wanted to like maybe learn to bake muffins. I
right.
didn't know we were going big.
They come up with, bigger things. And actually it was last summer that Lydia said she wanted to learn how to bake. So that was really good. So we started off with like box mixes. And once she nailed those, and we were ready to go to like scratch recipes, but she needed to learn the basics of like an oven and mixing and,
Listen, this summer she needs to learn how to make gluten-free treats for Miss Rebecca.
Got it.
Put that on her goal
I'll
list.
put it on her goal list. No problem. I think set goals, just kind of like we were talking about. Like my goal is to learn how to bake, or my goal is to learn, 30 more words in Spanish, or whatever it is.
Are y'all talking Spanish in your house now? Does everybody know Spanish?
Well, we do some, and Caleb's in Spanish too at school, and so it's good for him to practice with us.
Do you like go in there and like start talking in Spanish to him to see if he knows what you're saying? If y'all don't know this, Kate is fluent in Spanish.
I do a little bit, and he's actually doing really well.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah,
because my kid's taking Spanish too, but I don't know how to speak it, so I can't talk to him.
That's no problem. It only becomes dangerous when, like, he can talk to somebody else and you can't understand. And
exactly.
Then you're like,
what are y'all talking about?
What you talking about? And my last general tip is let people help. If the grandparents want to take them for a couple nights, let them. I think I pushed off on that as a young mom because I thought everything needed to be just so all the time, and just let them.
Let the schedule go for 3 days.
Yeah.
What happens at grandma's house stays at grandma's house.
Yes. Take the break. Okay, my tips for little people are, I loved having a boredom buster jar. So if they were bored when they were little, kids like to pull things out of jars. I don't know what the deal is. But if you guys brainstorm some things and put them on popsicle sticks, that's a great thing.
But clean the baseboards on one of them.
Yes.
Then they may not want to pull anything out of that jar again.
Yes. For littles, that's the, what do you want them to do before they get on screens? And they have a checklist or whatever. Get out early. Like we talked about, do things early and short, and don't feel like you have to do something every day.
That's right.
You'll wear yourself out. My big kid tips are be fun mom one day each week. Pick the day that you're like, we're going to do something fun. I cannot be the cruise director for you guys every day. And, okay, today we're doing this.
Right.
Like, it's just not realistic. So I think it was interesting what you said earlier about taking friends, because for me, I wrote, it's fun to do stuff with friends, but it's also okay to just go as your family. Sometimes I felt like I made things complicated because I was trying to get all these friends to come and us do some big outing, and then I didn't go, or it became stressful because we were trying to work around everybody's schedule. So I think it's okay to just do things as a family too,
sure,
right?
For sure.
And then what you brought up earlier is just, having one screen-free day each week where you just kind of go, and they're going to hate it.
Oh, they're going to hate it. They're going to hate you too. But then they're going to thank you later for it.
They thank you later, and they become your favorite kids. Like when my oldest...
favorite kids.
When my oldest gets
Do you
grounded...
have favorite kids, Moms?
I just mean I like them better when they're not on screens, I guess.
Yes.
When my oldest, he gets grounded from screens semi-regularly, and it's my favorite version of him when he's not on screens.
Yes.
He engages with us. He's more present. He gets stuff done. I don't know. So, but as we were thinking about this and thinking about schedules, this verse in Ephesians kept coming to my mind. And it's this Ephesians 5:15-16. And it says, look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of the time because the days are evil. And in the King James Version, it says, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. So we're not going to stop down on circumspectly.
I was like, does that have a meaning? What is that?
No, but we're going to stop down on redeeming the time, because to redeem something means to buy it back, to regain possession of it. And our time is a gift from God, and none of us know how much of it we're allotted. But we can look at this next season and realize that this is a gift. And we have the opportunity to redeem it for the glory of God and make the best use of the time, which means that we use wisdom and how we use our time. And as more of like a type A personality person, I tend to read that and naturally think of, okay, we got to redeem the time. So like, we got to have this schedule, and it's, we've got to do this and this, and everybody has to be speaking Spanish. And you know what I mean? Like, I can go full on into that.
And I'm like, ooh, that sounds fun. How can we do that?
I think, we look at a God who actually scheduled in rest. He wasn't a God of go, go, go. We don't see that in Jesus either. It was making the best use of the time. And so we can follow that model. Jesus was intentional with his time, but he also knew how to stop and sit at a meal and enjoy being with people and pulling away to spend time with the Father. He is our model of how to make the best use of the time. And so we can follow that and consider how to make the best use of summer. And I love the beautiful promise, that we have in James, that we can ask for wisdom on how to do that, and he'll give it to us. So moms, we want to end this episode by challenging you to just stop for a moment. Maybe you're in the car. Maybe you're listening to us as you're going for a walk. So when you get back in the house, that you would just stop and pray to God for wisdom and start brainstorming what the best use of time would be for your family this summer. Then set a framework, call a family meeting, and put some healthy plans in place. We love you, moms. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye. Hey, moms, we wanted to tell you about one of our sponsors today. I have loved having Mosquito Shield come out to treat my yard. They come every 10 to 17 days, which sometimes means they're out like 3 times a month, and you're just paying one monthly fee. They text me the night before, and all I have to do is make sure my gate is open, and if you've got pets, just bring them inside. I have not been bit by one mosquito in my backyard, and y'all, I'm a mosquito magnet. They love me. They suck my blood. So I am living my best life right now. Their exclusive product blend is primarily garlic, which creates a barrier around your yard so the mosquitoes can't even get in. There's no contract. You just pay a monthly fee. And if you have a significant breakout, just call them. They'll come back out to retreat. They are family owned by Damon and Michelle Trout, and I have personally spoken with Michelle. She is lovely and helpful. Don't miss out on a mosquito-free summer so you can enjoy your backyard. Call them today at 214-897-3077 or visit their website at moshield.com. That's moshield.com. And guys, Mama Judy is a happy customer along with me. So if you want to be like Mama Judy, then get Mosquito Shield to come out and treat your backyard today.